Hello, gentlemen. Now, today I got a channel to discuss. Now, I am a personal fan in believing the Shadow Fight community is mostly dead. Naturally, the only person who cares about this video game. Naturally, the only person that cares about this video game is Antive Games. You know, the one guy who I believe does legitimate good challenges on stuff. You know, a guy who packs up everything. He does it good. That's basically all I can say. I'm terrible at describing things, but the best I can put it is he's somebody who appears to care for the video game he's played. He's done challenges on it. He's done lots of things on it. He respects it. He puts updates. Yeah, he's a really good content creator. And then there's of course just the hackers like Gaming the Future over here who, yeah, do I need to tell you that this channel is botted? No, I don't, because believe it or not, I'm pretty sure this channel has something like 6 to 700K subscribers, and yet is only pulling 14K views per video on a video 7 days old. Son, don't. This channel is so obviously botted. You could have fooled me. A 700,000 subscriber channel. If somebody can, all right, how about we go? How about we go check this out? So videos posted 63 weeks ago. Now, obviously, in some videos, maybe I can't prove it's not botted because 50K views sounds like a perfectly reasonable amount, and 100K views on a Scooby Toilet video, it prints money. It's money because a wise man once said, he said, why would you get mad at a money printer for printing you less money if it's still printing you an adequate amount of money? Enough with my corny jokes. Jokes, as you can see, maybe I'll give them a pass until you get to videos like this one, which is somehow 2 months old and only pulling in 5.8K views. But maybe you can prove me wrong. But either way, these videos are waste of people's time. It's just super modded. Kind of reminds me of all those garbage, and of course it includes, the pop culture stuff. What's up, Chainsaw Man? Please tell me what that has to do with Shadow Fight Squid Game. I gotta include those clicks. Oh, horror movie icon. This is like a perfect video. But that's not the topic of today's video, despite the fact that I have a video maybe coming out about how garbage Shadow Fight is these days. No, 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 no. What I'm here for is not garbage or people who respect this franchise. I'm here about Shadow Fight shorts. Now, I think these videos are great examples of things because I've been binging a lot of this stuff. And sure, while I don't hate the guy, his ignorance of the Shadow Fight lore is really telling and showing. No, so somebody who's played this game for years upon end who can tell you basically anything about this video game. How about we start? Let's just start. Long enough intro. I don't have an issue with that. Let's go. So yeah, that's fair. What I will give you is some things are weaker than that. Something people need to understand though is what's about to come next. Next, Hermit is not weaker than Butcher. Some people appear to think that simply because these characters are layered on strengths, they're really not. If you really think that Hermit or Lynx could beat somebody like Wasser within a fight, then you are utterly your ignorance of the Shadow Fight lore is showing, honey. Especially since other Shadow Fight demons, you call them Eternals? Yeah, that's what they're called. The Eternals can cancel out each other's powers. So for anybody consistently saying this, Butcher is not stronger than Hermit. Simply because he was threatening Hermit for his magic does not mean that. Say I was somebody shorter than you does not mean I can suddenly not threaten you. And if Hermit really wanted to, he could whoop Butcher's ass. And your ignorance of the Shadow Fight lore is showing if you think otherwise. And yes, this is coming from someone. And by the way, something this guy has attempted to do since I talked to him before in a comment section, I don't remember which one, was he was talking about how he's played the game for 10 years. Honey, playing the game for 10 years does not mean you're suddenly a master of lore. I don't flex my credibility despite the fact I just did 10 seconds ago. If you ignore my maybe somewhat hypocrisy, I know a lot about Shadow Fight lore. I'm not about to flex how long I've been playing the game because that doesn't matter. What matters is if you have a good understanding of Shadow Fight lore and you watch enough raid videos. Because if you play enough of this game and understand it, you will understand that Butcher is not stronger than Hermit. Hermit, the guy who has magic, the guy who has to threaten Hermit to get magic. You need to understand. You need to understand that. And you're probably saying, well, it's just an opinion. Yeah, you're right. It is an opinion because the developers haven't bothered to explain the power hierarchy here. However, the raid bosses get explained much better. Wasp is just a completely I just realized something. Is he going in order of when the video game? Yeah, he's just going in order of the game. And for some reason, this guy doesn't believe that Hermit is stronger than Wasp. Wasp. You mean the girl who? You mean the girl who's been stated by so many other people of her own bodyguards that she was reckless? You know, all that jazz. Beautiful. Don't you love it? Love it. Now, moving right along. Now, back to business. Business. Sure, Benny, I'll give you that. He's kind of like the god of every Eternal. That's fair. Now, Titan, yeah, it's fair. The Titan Sphere or the what's it called? I'm actually trying to figure out what it's called. I'm just gonna call it Titan Spear. It was capable of destroying worlds, so that's entirely fair. Really fair. Yeah, Volcano. I'm noticing how he's just going in order of the video notice everything. Also, fungus is just the worst random placement ever. I'd actually say that's an incorrect placement because fungus could actually beat every human character in Shadow Fight. And before you say, well, the Eternals technically aren't human. Yeah, you're right, they're not humans, but they were at one point humans before being tempted by the enemies of man. I guess you could say. You could say, considering the fact that the Titan Spear is the reason why. That is for the kind of people like me who actually played this special edition. And actually, I'm actually even fewer of the people who pay attention to the Shadow Fight lore, but hey, that's just me. Phantom. You see, it's really difficult to gauge strength like these because these are not important characters. The most important characters in Shadow Fight lore would be Titan, Shadow, Sensei, and yes, it is Sensei. He's an incredibly important character. Tenbrus, Saturn, and well, let's say actually yes, Saturn, and the Gatekeeper. These characters are all increasingly important in the Shadow Fight lore and storyline of Shadow Fight 2. Too bad Shadow Fight Shades completely through all that, but that's not important. No. Again, I can't rank any of these or tell him he's wrong. He's just placing these arbitrarily because there's nothing else I can say about them. These characters don't have obsessed power levels. Now, I may rechange that or make a difference to that or remake a different video if I'm proven wrong when I go back to check out these dialogues, but I'm not gonna bother doing it now because even if I did, I'm pretty sure I would be proven wrong. Typically, the only place people like me get this kind of lore drops from is whenever you read the tiny text blurbs from when you win or lose a fight with the Eternals, and when you first get into a fight with them, they give a little text blurb. That's basically where you get all the knowledge from. It's a decent bit of lore, but it's also really interesting. Alright, so one brush up on my Shadow Fight knowledge later, and it was stated that the Eternals' goal is to destroy planet Earth so life can be cleansed out again. Now, let me ask you something, friend. It's been, yeah, before you say that dialogue incredibly quotes, by the way, that these characters are already strong enough to destroy all planet Earth. So, yeah, then Hexagon's dialogue and the rest, I'm not going back to check them because what's the point? It's probably going to be something unrelated to the powers or anything like that, so I can't really tell you, besides the fact that these characters are all on the world destroying level, and with some of them getting stronger as time goes on, so I don't really have a defense for that. No, Cracer, I don't have a defense for that. However, you're just going in order. Now, Tenbrus, yeah, he's the god of darkness and the god of light. And I just reread over his dialogue. So yeah, he's the guy who forges the darkness and light. And I'm not gonna about to blank it off saying he's the god of all darkness and light, but considering the fact that he can create worlds and guard the portal that destroys every person that walks beyond it. And yeah, that's fair. Now what I'm really gonna get upset at him at is just going in order. That doesn't make sense. Going in order of everything. Not every character is linked by that. That's all. Let's find something else. Mm, Now this video takes the cake. See, this video I believe is the one where I had a conversation with him, a very long-standing conversation, or a decently long-standing conversation, talking about just Shadow Fight. Now, one thing I will always critique this video for is the broken or pure aspect of it. Now, before I get into all my comments, which I'm not reading any of them for you, you can read them yourself if you have eyes. But let's get into this video first, before I just go through the comments slowly, like an idiot. Have the runtime, of course. Let's see. Let's just. Yeah, he was wrong about this. Now, a simple concept you need to understand when it comes to Shadow Fight is not every character is pure, broken, or evil. Hermit was never an evil character in Shadow Fight. He was always portrayed as, an enemy, an obstacle in Shadow Fight, but no, he's not evil. Hermit's entire goal slash concept was just training magic. Magic, the Son of Heaven literally just wanted a good fight, and good fight. Certain characters in Shadow Fight and the characterization, yes, despite what it may look like, those tiny text blurbs for some people are actual characterization. Hermit is not evil. Now, Lynx, yeah, I'll give you that one. He wanted to be the top assassin, but only because he was tempted by the Titan Spear. Something you need to understand is if you're going on a system of broken or pure evil, it means that every single Shadow Fight character would technically be classified under broken, because all of them took the temptation of the Titan Spear. An incredibly powerful item in Shadow Fight, which is probably going to expand on the comics, but no, I don't got them yet, so you got my point. Yeah, that's not true. You see, that's not where my main issue came with this video because you can't just judge every character on good or evil. As Emperor Palpatine once said, good and evil are simply different points of view. Because in no way, in no how is Herman ever considered a broken character. He always stated, like, besides the generic hype men for the just another reason. I just don't like Shadow Fight's pacing and everything like that because it's like incredibly long and just you're not paying the runtime better because Titan shouldn't have had his own Hatman. He shouldn't have had his bodyguards. His bodyguards do add a lot and they're actually pretty interesting. They'll factor into Shadow Fight stage. It's pretty good, but they shouldn't have had you fight all the gates plus Shadow plus Titan's failed experiments. I like the concept showing how horrifying Shadow each Shadow Fight though has always been portrayed as a horrible person. Lynx, first simply just ignoring all his bodyguards and assuming that they were good people. And people essentially forcing him to work for him. Hermit was not a bad guy in any capacity, which is my issue with this. Butcher was seen as the worst guy for basically kidnapping kids, massacring their families, and forcing them to work for him. Or not really forcing them. That's the concept of it before getting them into a cult. But Titan, it's really interesting because when it comes to him, he's more of a case. He's more case sensitive. What does that mean? Who knows? My main point is he's a whole different talking point about how his experiments and the rogues and the freedom fight. Yeah, that's a whole different topic. But my main point, you know, this is why I'm naturally don't agree with most of his opinions, especially the recent one. You'll see my point. There's Butcher, which is yeah, I can't agree. I'll pause for the ones I disagree with. Yeah, I don't really have an argument for loss. So I'm just getting to the point where some videos where some just show off his ignorance of the Shadow Fight lore. Now, do I agree with most of this video? Yes, but doesn't mean I can't point out flaws in this video, like suggesting certain characters are broken when they're clearly not. They're not. Like, sure, I would consider Wasp broken considering the fact that her actually not consider her pure evil. Her she murdered her own dad just to get the throne. Shogun is Shogun. May is literally not a character you can classify as broken when she's possessed. So that's because would you call the regular May broken? No, I don't think you would. Which is exactly what I mean when I say that. Titan is, I kind of wondered if I could get the characterization of Titan. This is a part where I go on some long ass tangent about his powers, but Titan has always been portrayed as the worst of the Shadow Fight guys. In Interlude, everyone just keeps warning you not to touch the gates because the horror things lie upon them. And when you do, yeah, I guess they're not wrong. It's a kid's game, of course. So you can't show that many violent stuff, but it's been shown that Titan did experiments on people, human people, which resulted in them becoming reptile-like monsters who are just like horrific to look at. So yeah, I guess you're right. Or the fact that all his bodyguards are all supposed to be like mirrors of people in actual shadow fights. So there's that. There's that and a few more things, but yeah, I guess you would say he's the worst guy. So I haven't really got much characterization for him, so you can call him pure evil. But considering that this guy conquered the world for a living, yeah, yeah, this is the part where like you just start you spewing out bullshit, man. You gotta put a cap in it, man. You're spewing the bullshit. It's all over the walls, the ceiling, the roof, because you're ignorant of the Shadow Five was showing. Magmouth and the underworld demons, all of them have always been shown to be pure evil, always pure evil. These demon beings, and yes, that's what they are. Are they the Eternals? That's another thing about Shadow Fight plot holes, but the Shadow Fight layered videos you get my point. Magwell is just not broken in any capacity, unless you're making a pun here. These characters and the underworld characters have always been shown to have the concept of destroying humanity. And just because he said once in one of his dialogues that he was the nicest of all the underworld demons, does not mean he still wouldn't destroy humanity if he had the chance. That is his goal. That is his purpose. And keep in mind, throughout lore, it's been stated that the reason the gates of the shadow door stays closed to the underworld so they don't unleash hell upon the gates, destroy them, and then destroy all of humanity. That is the reason, meaning that even the gates of shadows are the Eternals, which include the main six, would be Wasp, Butcher, yeah, you get my point. They're the reason as to why Magmouth hasn't gotten out yet, or everyone else. So just my main point during all of this is just because a character says one line doesn't mean he's broken. Fungus, you're just yeah. Again, every underworld demon is just pure evil. Every single one of them, because that's what they're created to do. They're created for this purpose, as Sensei quoted, to be the cycle of destruction and creation. And that quote is supposed to show off how dangerous they're supposed to be. They destroy worlds for a living. That's their purpose. Their only purpose. Numbers. I'm pretty sure most of these from now on I just agree with because these characters are indeed pure evil. Evil. Embers, yeah. See, that's when you part where you start losing wrong. You see, Candy isn't broken, she's insane. Now, this is going to be a little small tangent, but this is my point. Candy is not broken, she's insane. It's been shown throughout the stories that she just poisons the people she's supposed to work with, and other things like that. So, she's just insane. She's not broken. Or I could just go through another day. Yeah. But something you need to understand is that these small characters, these side characters that happen in events, they're not part of main Shadow Fight canon or lore. And it's pretty just going out the regular stuff. Ravana are just characters that are in no way. Adinti? Who? Because like I need like a range check on these characters since they only come up in events, so they're not relevant. And the architect is not pure evil. He's supposed to be a joke character. He's kind of like the puppeteer. Both of them are fourth wall breaking characters because the architect is supposed to be like a self insert for the game developers, make jokes at Shadow's expense. Because in his event, it's the only time Shadow ever talks, and he makes a joke in his opening text about how Shadow never talks It's the joke. And then there's the Son of Heaven. Yeah, no, listen, the Son of Heaven confirmed the existence of God in Shadowfight, which is some of the most interesting things ever because he's actually unkillable when you think about it. Considering how powerful his weapons are, the fact that he's literally unbeatable in the game. Yeah, the Son of Heaven is an extremely powerful character. Now, before you say don't bother, because he literally comes from the heavens as shown by Sensei's opening title. And before you say don't even bother trying to say I just said that event characters aren't important story, because he's not. My only point is that he's just an extremely powerful character and kind of interesting. He's not broken at all, and he only wanted a challenge, kind of like, kind of like, kind of like Hermit, kind of like actually exactly like Hermit, because both of them just wanted a challenge. At least Hermit wanted to teach people magic, and that's it. There's nothing else. This is before you guys knew about the Gatekeeper and Saturn, but I don't remember or care about those characters right now because none of them. It's gonna be interesting to see what those characters are capable of doing with new Shadowfly lore coming out. But yeah, yeah. I mean, oh yeah, I almost forgot to mention this entire thing. You can just read this yourself. I'll give you how many minutes? How many minutes should I give you? I like to pad my sync counts or just pad the runtime. Who cares really? I just I don't know. Also, this comment at the top is just exactly why I say he's flexing his knowledge on how long he's been playing the game. Playing for 10 years does not give you all the knowledge, honey. You could in those 10 years you could have ignored every single piece of dialogue the game gave you, which is clearly what you're doing here since you don't know. And there's just the rest of this, pretty simple. Pretty simple. Also, 15 years. All right, hold on. Let me break out the calculator here. Shadowfly came out in 2013, correct? Also, people need to understand what I mean when I say characters are not broken or pure evil. Because in that case, you just say that something I would actually agree with because I just remember the dialogue box. Yeah. So yeah, I would consider Wasp as pure evil considering the fact that she murdered her dad. Context. She murdered her dad to attain his throne and then the rest of those things. So yeah, it's a Shadowfly lore mom. Maybe she's only slightly broken though, since he was kind of a dictator for pirates. Alright, so there's just the rest, which is just who cares? The rest of the characters are labeled as pure evil. As pure evil. And it doesn't even matter because the gates were all forced to do it by the underworld demons. Actually, I need like a brush up on Shadowfly lore, but I know my main Shadowfly lore to a T at least. At least, which at least explains everything else. I don't want to bother getting into Eclipse Shadow because he's a really interesting character, but this just later. It's really weird. It's just so long. Also, by the way, when I say the Eternal and the Underworlders, the Underworld demons are Volcano, Magma, Fungus. The Eternals are the six main ones. The main ones. That's what you need to understand. I'm talking about the Eternals. Also, I apparently didn't know how to do my math. I had to do my math, and neither did this guy because Shadowfly came out in 2013, 13, 2014, 2015, 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021, and 2022, 2023. Yeah, I know how to count. I do not know how to count. That's kind of awkward. Anyway, regardless of that, yeah, the game has not been out for 15 years. So what were you lying? Which is really weird because why are you flexing your credentials, dog? You don't need to flex how long you've been playing the game because during that time you could be playing the game. You could have been skipping every single dialogue box. Knowing the game does not mean you instantly win every scenario. So yeah, you're just wrong, bro. No, other than that, let's continue. Here we are. Here we are. Another classic broken or evil trend. No, this one. No, will this one follow regular Shadow Fight antics? Probably. Let's see. This one's based on Bodyguard, so this is gonna be more interesting. Yeah, that's fair. Let's see some characters that are pure evil, as stated by lore, of course. I'd never say Dandy was broken. If anything, I'd say some characters are broken. Some characters are just not really evil, but yeah, Tiger's is fair. Crane, yeah, he's actually kind of the broken character in Shadow Fight. I naturally place every single one. Yeah, I know. Redhead, yeah. I naturally say all of Butcher's bodyguards are just broken because they were manipulated by Butcher for years, but that's another part of lore. I would not say Reaper is I would really say Reaper is pure evil more than he's just an insane person. Yes, you have a lot of those in Shadow Fight too, honey. But that's just more lore you fail to understand or grasp the concept of for some reason, despite being somebody who claims to know about shorts. But then again, shorts are not the structure that hold up this game. It's like the glue and spit that hold this game together, which is not very good, considering the fact that nobody in their right mind respects it. And keep in mind, the Stone Sky is not the saving grace that I'm not gonna pretend he is. Strong Sky is not a Shadowfight YouTuber. And before I say it, well, maybe he's no, he's not. I haven't seen an actual Big Ten gaming YouTuber cover Shadowfight in years. Of all the mobile nostalgia videos, he just completely left out. He just completely a forgotten game. Yeah, yeah, I'd probably say that. See, not just throwing out random theories. I wouldn't say Busan is broken. These characters are pure evil or broken because again, you can't just judge that. Good and evil is a point of view. So naturally, what my point is that Busan is not pure evil, and neither Shark. These characters are just naturally they betray lost because they don't trust in their judgment after her father disappeared. That's a PG way of saying he got murdered. Murdered, but you get my point. But where are you getting these theories from? And of the one time, I think I remember this one. Oh my god. He says he says he's a poor old man and you just label every other character as evil. Honey, you're ignorant of the Shadowfire lore showing again. Especially when you know that all these characters are under the you see what I mean? You know that these characters are under the control of Widow, a character who you know if you're actually paying attention to Shadowfire lore is placed men under her curse. But simply because this guy actually had to spoon feed you that he's a poor old man who's under Widow's spell. That's when you realize he was broken, not the other characters who are simping for her. He just didn't bother. You see what I mean? Who manages this? And it's just literally all of this. Oh, let's see the respond to this one. I think he's bored of it. But yeah, I'm gonna live reaction to this. Not really boring me. To the point. Long ass intro. Yeah, no. This is the part where I'm supposed to get mad because you just throwing out random crazy amateur levels. 7A? Is this an Iron Spider suit? Unlock 17A? 17A? What sense are you making here? And these characters have never been stated to be anything because the show never bothered. The only person I could ever remotely say was on the level of a city or even a city would be somebody like Shogun. Because it's been shown with his bodyguards he can destroy and burn down an entire city. Ivory City to be exact. The original one, the prince used to live in. That's a bit of Shadowfight special edition lore to you for all the people who just assumed it was Richer Boy Shadowfight or whatever the hell. Who knows really? Again, you're just throwing out random. What? Who gave you these numbers? You're just throwing out random stuff. Now Shogun is the only person I'll agree with you with on city level, but with the help of his bodyguards at least. And even if you want to say, well, maybe he did it on his own, yeah, I'll give you that one since I actually like Shogun. So maybe he did do it on his own. Maybe he didn't. You'll never know. Oh. This is Titan. You're getting these numbers from nowhere. If anything, I'd actually say Titan is the world level since the power of the sphere allows him to cause and to dominate worlds as stated by Cypher, I believe. Where are you getting these numbers? There's random 4B. What does that even mean? Mean and solar system level? You think a character who's supposed to in canon be able to destroy the Earth is solar system level? You were just highballing these characters. You're just wanking them off to an insane rate. And it's not even wanking since there's no feats to go off of. The best feat that the underworld demons are capable of hearing is supposed to be like destroying the earth. That is the craziest feat. How high did you whack that off to unnecessarily? Really? Where are you getting these multi-solar system levels? Where are you getting these numbers? The only character who I'd ever even remotely say is like planet level, but beyond planet level is Tenbrus, simply because he guards a portal that destroys reality. He can forge darkness and light of worlds. He's forged a world before, and he's the god of darkness and light. That's the only part I give you. Where are you getting these numbers? Because they look cool? That doesn't make any sense. I'm multiverse level, multiversal. You think a guy who's gatekeeper is multiversal? No, well, the only person I'll ever give you is God, is the Son of Heaven. So yeah, maybe I'll give you multiversal plus plus because he's the Son of God. So yeah, maybe I'll give you that one. And then there's Ravana, who's just where are these numbers from? I think I've heard about Ravana since people just keep whacking him off an insane amount. Maybe dick riding him too much. Here in these shorts at least. It's like, is he not strong? The Architect is just no. The Architect is just Infinity, and Neki is not a real character in the game. He often appears in these kind of shorts. He's just not a real character. It's extremely weird. And then also, if he was, he'd have infinite power because those characters can control other characters. I'll get you another skit. This will be the last time I'm doing for now since I'm actually out of skits. How about I go one more round, eh? The classic showing your ignorance of the Genocide lore for some reason. Yeah, yo, no sight throwing good here and not broken or pure evil. Also, Scout? What are you talking about? Also, none of these characters are. Oh. Unless they're throwing good, broken, or pure evil now, I don't know, man. It's almost like you listened and read my comment. Anyway, I don't really have any disagreements now. Some other, yeah. Yeah, yeah, Cipher. Yeah, Shroud. Gatekeeper is not a. The Gatekeeper is a character you can't really put into any category because he's not alive. He's just a robot. You can't put him in any categories. Destruction is not a consciousness. Besides just protecting the gate. Just throwing out random stuff now. Santa Claus in Shadow Fight. Wolf of Mind. Where are you getting these numbers? Broken, pure evil. Festivus? Would he ever give you? You know, dog. Just because a character says you're a legend does not mean that these characters are broken. You just keep using one clip, or otherwise meant to say you're cherry picking, because that doesn't have anything to do with anything. Also, the prince in general is not a good person. He manipulated typically the original game decides to make you seem like he's a good person, and then the thing, and then at the end of special edition, because he absorbed the original Gates power, it makes you want to think, maybe he's just evil. It makes you think, nah, the thing is just taking control of his mind. No, no, he's not. He manipulated everything. Everything. Well, not everything, but yeah, my point. He manipulated Sensei into carrying him all across the lands until he reached East Castle. I'm gonna drop in one more time to say that none of these numbers are correct and don't make any sense. He says they're according to the wiki, but that doesn't make any sense because the Gatekeeper is not Galaxy level, and neither is Fungus. Where are you getting these numbers from? Phantom is universal level, Titan is multiversal level? You know the Underworld demons are infinitely stronger than. I'm not bother. I already said this multiple times in a video. Let me laser into your brains one more time. Alright. The Underworld demons are infinitely stronger than the regular Eternals, which would be the six original gates, or seven. They are infinitely stronger than them. Their powers are to destroy the world. Like, sure, before you about to saying, well, you already said the Titan is also world strong. Yeah, but you don't think the people who boss Titan around, who probably gave them the Titan Spear, does that? The thing that contains the essence of their world? The guys who stated that they could scorch that world? Yeah, yeah. I'm done. And there's one more video I want to show you. I should pause the recording. Here we are. So old wolves versus hermit, 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 hermit. Yeah, that was entirely wrong. Then before you say, well, agility and strength would naturally go. No, it wouldn't. Agility would go a lot to Hermit because he's an old master. I mean, even in Shadow Fight Special Edition, he was stating that he wanted the Golden Age of martial arts to start because he was somebody who taught it at the time. Even there, he was an old man. And before you say yes, every version of the Eternal is also an immortal. You probably don't believe me when I say that, but I'm pretty sure there's dialogue in there somewhere about how it's thousands of years old. If you don't believe me otherwise, then why does it exactly determine like an old man? Before you say yes, these are young versions of the game, and they're supposed to be old versions. Don't even bother with that. Old versions, which is just literally just using those same ones. So what's the difference? Oh, design? Yeah, I thought so. Hermit, 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 hermit. No, never mind. Just added bomb there. I'm noticing how you're just placing arbitrary limits on them because old version and the current version of the game should be the same. Hermit. Yeah, that was game's mess. Now let's go with Prime, despite the fact that there's no difference between them. Hermit, 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 hermit. Which is full power. I think people need to understand why Clickbait does this stuff fandom, or in particular Shadowfy one, because this is not a full power form. Now, would that be incredibly cool? Now, listen, I like Shadow Boy. I don't like Shadow Boy, but his designs for what would be a Eclipse version of his character of Blood Demon, yeah, that would look sick as everything. Let me pull that stuff up for you. You said that was Shadow Boy. Shadow Boy really knows how to throw down. Like seriously, all new demons' abilities and skills. Now, listen, I might not like this guy. I might like this guy in his videos, but the design of Hacker Links looks incredibly cool. And you're not about to tell me otherwise. Like sure, the abilities are you classic YouTube garbage. It doesn't make any sense in Shadow Fight context. Like, but each of these designs look cool as ever. Like Young Hermit, yeah, that doesn't make sense. Makes sense, but you get remastering that looks cool. Like a Young Hermit powers. Bloody Butcher looks generally fantastic because I've already seen Young Butcher like the incredible strong version of him. As per usual jumbo mess garbage thing, which doesn't make any sense at all in the context of Shadow Fight because why would you ever character that overpowered right now? You see, there was the I believe Modern Watch. It was pretty interesting too. Of course, you got the casual garbage spur in the moment, which doesn't make any sense. And there was the Wild Widow. That's actually a really cool concept. And then one of my favorites personally was Commander Shogun. And your original design of them too just looks incredible. Just fire everywhere. I'm just getting LED effects, but this does look generally like the most one of the coolest effects I've ever seen. But typically, it would be incredibly cool if you had like a multi-strike. Now notice this. Yeah, notice all the different strikes, despite the garbage that you see on screen. Notice all the different strikes. It looks incredibly cool. Not this one though. It's just a casual shot if like garbage or things are flying around. That strike where it's like yeah, two things at once, two different strikes. Yeah, that'd be incredibly cool. Cool. Too bad none of those will ever happen though. But that's not my point. I digress. Anyway, let's come back to theatrics here. Winner should be permanent. Let's go with full power, which is not a mode at all, meaning that there's no way for us to gauge our power on it. We just gotta trust the word of you, huh? No, as Birdman was saying, I'm not saying, I'm not swearing again, but that's not my point. Like full power is just, it's literally not a thing ever, so you can just arbitrarily give anybody the point because it's not a real form. You see what I mean? You just draw an arbitrary line in the sand. So overall, at the end of this video, if you're even made this far, which you naturally haven't, I'm not gonna say this channel is insanely weird. He has such a little understanding of Shadowfight lore for some reason. He consistently believes Shadowfight characters and massacre other characters. Knows absolutely nothing about this. Sorry, not nothing. He knows little things about the Shadowfight lore. He barely knows anything. He barely knows things about how like basic Shadowfight lore really works, and several other things. He also doesn't. He also, for some reason, is just like, well, why would you agree with these old opinions, which make very little sense. Know what I mean when I say that? Just like you're measuring things upon you don't have a basis for, and then he just goes with the crazy feats. He's still. And notice how in the two most powerful character videos I showed you, he's talking about how this character is out for. So no, you're arbitrarily drawing a line in the sand. He said before that that fungus was multiversal, and yet in the very next video he's stating that he's outversal. Was that? Yeah. Also need to understand Ravana height between you, so maybe you could be right about that. But overall, this channel is incredibly weird and is inaccurate to Shadowfire lore. And with that, Headbar Lettuce is still the best plant